Oh, snap. He done did it again.
Thoughts about what?
Running for re-election in 2026.
That's
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026? All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute. Senator. Denny.
okay.
Somebody else have a question? Please speak up.
I don't know if you guys have seen this one, but Mitch McConnell freezes, struggles to speak in second incident this summer. And this is getting really alarming because now it's happening more frequently and happening more often. And honestly, I hope that he's all right. I really do. But I'm also very, very curious and concerned, number one, about his state and his ability to function properly in the job that he has to do in office, but more so, what happens when he glitches and blanks out behind the wheel of a vehicle? And honestly, I hope that he's all right. I really do. But I'm also very, very curious and concerned, number one, about his state and his ability to function properly in the job that he has to do in office, but more so, what happens when he glitches and blanks out behind the wheel of a vehicle, operating a heavy machine like a, 3,000-4,000 pound vehicle that could essentially plow through crowds of people or maybe even drive through a children's playground or something. But this is very alarming. Someone even telling me today about this happening, which led me to do a little bit of investigating and asking me if this had any ties or any connections or any relation to the possibility that he himself was a recipient of some Pfizer medication. And also relating this and connecting it to some of these athletes who, similar to LeBron James or Bronny James, LeBron James' son, having health issues and going into myocardosis and cardiac arrest while training in athletic sporting events. But according to this news article that I have here in front of me, it says that Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell on Wednesday, today, appeared briefly unable to respond to reporters' questions at a press event, marking the second time in weeks that the Republican leader has abruptly stopped speaking and required help from people around him.
All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute. Senator. Denny.
Okay.
Now, I don't know. Is this intentional? Is this a ploy? Is this a way to get out of answering the questions that you don't want to have to answer?
Hey, I'm just here so I don't get fined. So y'all can sit here and ask me all the questions y'all want to. I'm going to answer with the same answer, so y'all can shoot if y'all please.
Senator, what is your reaction on Trump's latest indictment, and would you support him as a nominee?
It's a question about Trump. Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026? It's a question about Trump.
You sexy too. I'm just I'm here so I won't get fined. I'm here so I won't get fined. I'm here so I won't get fined.
McConnell, age 81. So, do you think there's a performance evaluation for Mitch McConnell or any of these lawmakers or politicians or elected officials who are essentially pulling the strings, running this country? And at 81, showing signs of cognitive decline that are allowed to continue to operate and, more importantly, draw a paycheck, which could more than likely actually be very, very helpful to someone else who may be more suited and better qualified to assume this position, maybe a younger applicant who is looking to get their start in politics. However, it says that it initially seemed that McConnell struggled to hear when asked at an event in Covington, Kentucky, about his views on running for re-election. When do you get timed out? When do you get aged out? 81 years old? Why are we having questions and conversations and discussions about the possibility of re-election? And how long is his term anyway? 30 years? He's been doing this since came out of the womb, it seems. But as the senator froze at the lectern and did not speak for about 30 seconds. I mean, this is like stroke territory, which honestly, I hope that's not the case, but it just seems really, really strange and concerning. Like he himself should be more worried about it than anyone else, because this is the second time it's happened here recently. And he did not appear to immediately respond when a member of his staff approached him to ask if he had heard the question. Now, I do need to check and watch the footage. Maybe that lady in the green was there behind him again, poking him with something. I don't know. Have you guys seen it? If you have, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Or is this potentially part of or tied into the new variant, which they're going to then use and leverage as a reason why there should be lockdowns across the country? All right. I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute. The aide said during that interview. That interval.
Somebody else have a question? Please speak up.
What efforts is Daniel Cameron going to have to make on the campaign trail when Kentucky is over in November?
Aide. It's almost like he's in a retirement home with a nurse, and his aide has to then respond for him and prop him up so he doesn't completely collapse and pass out there at the age of 81. Now, Mitch McConnell then appeared to signal he was ready to receive another question. He was asked about Kentucky's Republican Attorney General Daniel Cameron, who's running for governor. After his aide loudly repeated the question to his ear, McConnell said, "I think the governor's race is going to be very close," with his voice lowering in volume as he finished his reply.
Senator Daniel Cameron, you have a comment on Daniel Cameron?
Well, I think the governor's race is going to be very close. Far and away the best candidate we could have nominated. And stated that I'm increasingly Republican, in fact, the governor's the only Democrat left. So I'm optimistic that Daniel will be our next governor.
I think we can do one more.
It's almost like maybe she stuck her hand up his back and like moved his mouth or something.
Senator, what is your reaction on Trump's latest indictment, and would you support him as a nominee?
He brushed off a final question from former President Donald Trump's latest indictment in Georgia before being led away from the lectern.
Senator, what is your reaction on Trump's latest indictment, and would you support him as a nominee?
It's a question about Trump.
I'm not going to comment about the presidential race, either on the Republican side or the Democratic side.
Okay, thank you all.
McConnell suffered a similar episode July 26 in Washington, D.C., where he froze and was briefly unable to speak at a news conference. You see what happened there when I froze? Did you question what was going on? Did you think something was wrong? Did you ask yourself, hey, is Kevin okay? Now, in that case, McConnell's fellow senators rushed in to help him, and after a few minutes he returned to the lectern and continued speaking to reporters. At the time, McConnell dismissed questions about whether the health scare was in any way connected to a concussion he suffered earlier this year when he fell at a political fundraiser.
Mitch McConnell is in the hospital today. His condition is unknown.
So is this like a challenge? Is this like some new TikTok challenge where Biden and McConnell try to see who can fall down the most?
The whole thing is crazy. He's at the Air Force Academy. He actually fell down. Well, I hope he wasn't hurt. I hope he wasn't hurt. But the whole thing is, look, the whole thing is crazy. I hope he wasn't hurt. But it's the whole thing is, look, the whole thing is crazy. You got to be careful about that. You got to be careful about that because you don't want that. Even if you have to tiptoe down a ramp, you got to
Now, a spokesperson for McConnell said in a statement Wednesday that the Senate leader felt momentarily lightheaded and paused during his press conference today. I wonder if he's got one of those pill cases with every day of the week marked on it so he knows which day to take what. And maybe he forgot to take one. Maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe he forgot to take his medication. And an aide to McConnell added that while the senator feels fine, as a prudential measure, the leader will be consulting a physician prior to his next event per NBC. He probably just needs a reset. He really probably just needs a reset, or I don't know, maybe he's an alien.
What's going on with Katy Perry? Why is she glitching? Wait for it.
Maybe he's an alien and the suit that he's in malfunctioned.
Mikey?
Ja, man, ik zei, Heidstad, Kopfstreifen.
Fresh questions about McConnell's health arise at an especially fraught moment for Republicans in Congress who hold a narrow majority in the House and 49 seats in the Senate. Now, this is the same guy who said that he is looking forward to, granted, I'm paraphrasing here, but he said folks would go back to work when they got up off the couch and were no longer able to survive on all the pandemic money and the stimulus checks and the unemployment boosts. Now, on Tuesday, Republican House Majority Leader Steve Scalise announced that he had been diagnosed with multiple myeloma, a rare blood cancer. The 57-year-old Louisiana lawmaker called the disease very treatable and promised he would return to Washington, though he did not say precisely when. Congress is scheduled to return to session in September after a month-long recess, with the Senate back in session September 5th and the House on September 12th. President Joe Biden asked about Mitch McConnell during a briefing Wednesday afternoon on the severe weather threatening the U.S. Southeast. Hurricane Idalia, and actually Squirrel Tribe actually just covered that, and so much more about Lahaina and what is happening in Hawaii, and also some things that have happened in Hawaii here recently that didn't make quite a big fuss in the news, but is really concerning when you think about it and you connect it to where we are at today and likely where we're going to be tomorrow. So make sure you go check out Squirrel Tribe's video. But it says that we have disagreements politically, but he's a good friend, is what Biden said. And so I'm going to try to get in touch with him later this afternoon.
By the way, I just heard literally coming out, and Mitch is a friend, as you know, not a joke. We always, people don't believe that's the case, but we have disagreements politically, but he's a good friend, and so I'm going to try to get in touch with him later this afternoon. I don't know enough to know.
Biden had wished McConnell well after his fall in March, and the senator said the president had called him up following his verbal freeze in July. I told him I got sandbagged, quote. McConnell said he told the president at that time. Republicans are not the only ones fielding concerns about their health and fitness to serve in Congress. With a median age of 59 years old, the House and Senate are older today than at any point in modern history. Senator Dianne Feinstein of California, who at 90 is the oldest member of either party in Congress, has come under immense bipartisan scrutiny for continuing to hold her Senate seat despite a series of debilitating health issues. I think they even put one of those little chairlifts in these government buildings to get her from one floor to the other, is what I've been told. Feinstein was away from Washington for 3 months earlier this year while she recovered from shingles, leaving Democrats down a vote in the Senate, where members are not permitted to cast votes in absentia. And the Democrat lawmaker was briefly hospitalized earlier this month after a minor fall in her home. Massive mansion somewhere in a secluded area that is well protected from natural disasters, hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, wildfires, or the sort, or even laser beams from outer space. What do you guys think? Drop a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Take care. Be safe. You guys have an amazing, wonderful, and fantastic day.